state finance to do his family business. Please address that. What is going on?
That will shock you. When there's a debate where it is confirmed by the regulatory agency in Nigeria that they actually left that amount. That's what I'm saying now. You see it, I won't disclose it now.
When you think of Peter Obi, the image that likely comes to mind is that of a calm and disciplined leader known for a simple lifestyle and careful management of resources, or the one-time presidential candidate who has won the hearts of many. But there is another side to Peter Obi, one that is often overshadowed by his political career. It is one that has been long before he ever stepped into public office. Wearing multiple hats as a trader, a banker, and an investor, this is the story of the unimaginable wealth of Peter Obi. Born July 19, 1961 in Onitsha, Anambra State, Obi grew up surrounded by business activity. It could be said that his family, known for their involvement in trade, contributed to his early interest in commerce. After he finished his secondary school at Christ the King College, Obi went on to receive a degree in philosophy from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, in the year 1984. To advance his knowledge in business, he went on to attend some of the world's top business schools such as the Lagos Business School, the Harvard Business School, and the London School of Economics. It could be said that all these experiences helped to provide him with the tools to build a large business and gain access into global markets. In the late 1980s, Peter Obi saw an opening in Nigeria's growing economy and decided to enter the importing sector. The government was opening up to more foreign items at the time, and the Structural Adjustment Program, SAP, had recently been implemented. And since imported items were seen to be of superior quality, people's interest in them was increasing. Obi saw this as a chance to start a business that could bring these products into the country and meet the growing demand. He began with everyday goods that were in demand but not easily accessible. Introducing hen salad cream to Nigeria was one of his greatest achievements. At the time, local mayonnaise brands were the main options for consumers, but Obi realized that many Nigerians, especially the middle and upper class Nigerians, preferred imported products which they considered as high quality. Another product Obi focused on was Ovaltine, a malted beverage that became popular with many families. It was highly nutritious and already recognized internationally. Hence, it made the job easy for him. Obi put a lot of effort into making Ovaltine accessible throughout Nigeria, and it soon made its way into many homes. He became well known in the importation industry as a result of this. Now, Obi didn't stop at everyday goods. He also brought in wines and drinks, including Amarula cream liqueur, which became very popular in Nigeria. By focusing on drinks and food items that people enjoyed both at home and in social settings, Obi made sure his business was always in demand. One of the key things that distinguished him was his focus on quality. Unlike many others who imported inferior goods, Obi focused on well-known brands that consumers trusted. He decided to get into the import industry because he saw a need in the market and filled it. Obi went on to provide Nigerians the better choices they were seeking. His attention to detail and dedication to providing value allowed him to establish a successful business. Obi had a great deal of experience importing popular consumer items by the late 1980s and early 1990s. But as his business grew, it became clear that a more organized and effective approach was required to meet the demand, which gave rise to one of his brainchild, Next International Nigeria Limited. The Nigerian market was getting increasingly competitive at the time. While many importers lacked the organization to manage such expansion, they were struggling to satisfy the demand for goods from outside the country. Obi made the decision to start a business that would handle the importation of commodities and build a solid reputation for dependability and professionalism. Next International Nigeria Limited therefore became the hub for all of Obi's importation activities. By putting all his operations under one brand, he could streamline his supply chain, strengthen relationships with international manufacturers, and provide better service for his customers in Nigeria. Obi established Next International in large part to keep control over all facets of the company. He saw that in order to be successful in a market as unstable as Nigeria's, he needed to keep things consistent and reduce risks. By launching his own company, he would be able to oversee the sourcing of the products, its distribution across cities, storage, as well as delivery. Obi's reach was further expanded by Next International. The business distributed its products around several states, such that even small cities could have the items that consumers wanted, rather than concentrating only on Lagos or Onitsha. Building on the success of Next International, Obi decided to venture into retail. By the early 2000s, shopping in Nigeria mostly happened in open markets or small stores. While these options worked for years, they were often disorganized and didn't offer many choices. Obi saw an opportunity to provide something better, a modern shopping experience where people could get everything they needed in one place with ease and comfort. His idea was to create a large store where Nigerians could buy groceries, electronics, clothing, and other essentials all under one roof. He wanted both people and families to find shopping more pleasurable, quicker, and easier. With its first outlets in Abuja and Port Harcourt, Next Cash and Carry was born out of this ambition. These cities were picked because of their fast growth, high incomes, and need for better shopping experiences. Next Cash and Carry immediately made a name for itself with its spacious, well-organized areas and extensive product line. Obi ensured that the stores sold both locally and imported goods so that clients could select the one that best fit their spending plans. His years of experience as an importer enabled him to negotiate favorable terms with manufacturers, thereby enabling the outlets to provide high-quality goods at reasonable costs. One of the most impressive features of this establishment was its financial success. In its early years, the retail company allegedly made billions of naira in income each year. Within its first 3 years, the Abuja branch alone was estimated to bring in over 3 billion naira yearly due to its high level of sales, while the Port Harcourt branch also reported a similar figure. At its best performance, Next Cash and Carry's yearly income was expected to be between 10 billion naira and 15 billion naira. But Obi saw the business as more than just a financial endeavor. For him, it was a way to improve people's lives by providing employment, increasing access to high-quality items, and providing Nigerians with a better shopping experience. The money gained were merely a reflection of the value the firm brought to the community. Peter Obi's wealth and influence were further increased by his career in Nigeria's banking industry, where he held positions in a number of financial companies. During his tenure as chairman of Guardian Express Bank PLC, Obi contributed to the development of the bank's objectives and plans. At Fidelity Bank, Obi served as a board member and shareholder, and based on market trends, dividends from shares in the early 2000s could range from 50 million naira to 100 million naira annually, depending on the number of shares owned and the bank's financial performance. During his time on the board, it's estimated that Obi earned at least 5 million naira to 10 million naira annually in allowances and related benefits. He equally served on the boards of Charms Nigeria Limited, Emerging Capital Limited, and Card Center PLC, which were pioneers in Nigeria's technology-driven financial services sector. Peter Obi didn't just sit on the boards of these banks, he was also a major shareholder in several of them. His investment in the financial sector were calculated moves, ensuring that he had both a voice and a stake in the institution he was part of. These shares were worth millions of naira and provided a steady stream of income for him over the years. By the time Obi became the governor of Anambra State in 2006, he was already the chairman of 11 companies in Nigeria and abroad. But then, there is the story of Peter Obi as not just an entrepreneur or a banker, but as an investor. One of his most remarkable achievements in this regard was his collaboration with South African breweries, SABMiller, to establish a brewery in Onitsha. Here is a little backstory. In the early 2010s, Anambra State was struggling with high unemployment rates and a poor industrial sector. The state failed to draw in substantial industrial investments despite its advantageous location and sizable population. But Obi understood that industrialization was necessary to combat unemployment, support local companies, and provide long-term economic growth. By simplifying regulations and enhancing infrastructure, his administration sought to create an atmosphere that would attract foreign investment. This endeavor drew the attention of SABMiller, a multinational beverage establishment seeking to grow its business in Nigeria. Additionally, in 2012, SABMiller made a $100 million investment to establish a greenfield brewery in Onitsha called Interfact Beverages Limited. With a $12.24 million contribution as part of the collaboration, Anambra State became a shareholder in the project. This calculated action made sure that the state would profit from the brewery's success while also giving its citizens access to jobs and other economic possibilities. In order to serve the local and regional markets, the brewery was built to create well-known beverages including Hero Lager, Castle Milk Stout, and non-alcoholic drinks. Hero Lager was a major contributor to the brewery's overall yearly earnings, which by 2014 was between $30 million and $50 million. In addition to directly employing more than 250 people, the brewery generated thousands of indirect employment for distributors, suppliers, and transportation workers. Based on his belief in long-term economic empowerment, Peter Obi chose to support industrial projects. According to him, sectors like brewing may promote sustainable growth by increasing tax revenues, generating jobs, and assisting small firms in the supply chain. Furthermore, Obi recognized the importance of diversifying into industries that could prosper in spite of Nigeria's unstable import regulations. By manufacturing locally, the brewery lessened its dependency on imported alcoholic beverages, boosting the local economy and guaranteeing product availability at reduced prices. More significantly, by spotting opportunities, Obi not only increased his personal wealth but also left a legacy of economic transformation that still benefits Anambra State today. These events all demonstrate that, contrary to what some may wish to believe, Obi was a multimillionaire with a diverse business portfolio before he was elected governor of Anambra State in 2006. Unbelievably, he has often said that his tenure in politics made him financially poorer. As governor, he made reducing wasteful government expenditure a top priority and frequently spent his own funds to save the state's revenues. Obi's decision to dramatically cut the size of his official convoy was one of his first actions as governor. In contrast to previous governors who frequently traveled with sizable convoys of more than 20 cars, Obi kept his convoy small, which allowed the state to save a significant amount of money on staff, petrol, and maintenance. In several cases, he chose to travel alone or with low security. In a similar vein, he cut government officials' travel costs, including his own. He seldom bought first-class or business-class tickets, instead choosing to travel in economy. And that's not all. Many of the benefits that come with the job were also turned down by Peter Obi. For example, he decided to renovate the current governor's lodge for a fraction of the cost after taking office rather than constructing a new one. He avoided purchasing new official cars and used his personal vehicles for official duties on many occasions. In Anambra State, he flatly refused to enact any pension plan for previous governors, arguing that it was unjust to burden the state with such costs when funds were required for urgent development projects. Unlike other politicians who leave their state in debt, Peter Obi left the state with more than 75 billion naira in cash and assets in both local and international currency, in addition to 50 billion naira in investments in businesses such as SABMiller subsidiary Interfact Beverages. This also included 27 billion naira in cash. And there you have it. Although he is not on any billionaire list, this story goes to show that a great deal of Peter Obi's financial strength and wealth, which he intentionally does not show off, is simply deeply rooted in years of entrepreneurship and investments.
That all these folks here should come and take over Africa.
Yeah.
You know, because that Africa needs their talent.